Let me start by saying that what I'd like to share with you today has three parts. And so, first of all, I wanted to just touch very briefly on the origins of Mother's Day. I know I have shared this with some of you before, but I thought it was interesting and quite powerful in terms of what was shared, gosh, 155 years ago, but I'll get to that in a moment. And then the second part, which I've titled The Badass Mother, and I'll come back to that and tell you why I've called it that. And thirdly, again, inspired by Tina, the mother without and the mother within. So let's first of all talk about why Mother's Day. So as some of you may know, that the concepts and origins of Mother's Day started in the 19th century in the US, and it was in the years before the Civil War. And there were what was known as clubs where women gathered together to teach each other how to properly care for their children. Imagine. And later, these clubs became a unifying force in regions of the country that were still ravaged and divided by the Civil War. And they gathered together Union and Confederate soldiers to promote reconciliation. Imagine, as I say, well over 150 years ago. And the abolitionist and suffragette, her name Julia Ward Howe, some of you probably are already familiar with her name. She campaigned for what she wanted to call Mother's Peace Day. And she wanted it to be celebrated on every June 2nd. And so in 1870, she wrote her Mother's Day Proclamation. And it was a call to action that asked mothers to, are you ready for it? Unite in promoting not just peace in the US, but world peace. And her words are eerily, and might I say, shamefully still relevant to where we find ourselves today, 155 years later. Now, I won't share all of it because it was quite a long proclamation, but I just pulled out the first paragraph and then something in the middle because I think it would resonate with all of us. So this was written in Boston in 1870. Arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts, whether our baptism be that of water or of tears. Say firmly, we will not have great questions decided by irrelevant agencies. Our husbands shall not come to us reeking with carnage for caresses and applause. Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience. We, women of one country, will be too tender of those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. From the bosom of the devastated earth, thank you, everybody. So I just wanted to finish by saying that it's so powerful and so prescient, imagining 155 years ago, women speaking so powerfully to these causes, not in that, just in their own country, but around the world. And out of that came Mother's Day. So we have a legacy to be very proud of, I feel. The second thing is that Mother's Day can be, in my opinion at least, I don't know how you feel, but it can be a bit hallmarky, as I like to call it, a bit romanticized and a bit fluffy sometimes. But what I wanted to share with you is, and for those of you who have either practiced any kind of Hinduism or done any sort of Hinduism training, this person may be very familiar to you. Her name is Durga, And I just want to bring up an image of her, if I may. Anybody here familiar with Durga? There she is. Now, you'll see in her hands a number of instruments, and of course, each one has a very powerful imagery and symbolism. But you can see that includes a sword and a trident and a bow and arrow. And of course, she's depicted either on the top of a lion or on most likely on the top of a tiger, because in India there are no lions. But she's a powerful entity waging a war against evil, the evil that lies inside of us, as well as the evil that tries to harm us from the outside. And to understand the power of Durga is to understand your own power. She's considered the essential, the quintessential mother figure. Durga is righteous, fearless, the protective mother of the universe, the all-powerful embodiment of Shakti, the creative feminine energy who brought rather the universe into being. And Durga wages a war against what she calls the corruption of the human spirit. And Durga is a Sanskrit word which means, are you ready for this? This is quite cool. Inaccessible fortress, or a place that is difficult to overrun. And so this name is indicative of Durga's fierce, powerful, and I could almost say militant nature. And by that, what I mean is, much like a mama bear, she's powerful and unstoppable when it comes to protecting us and protecting all that is good and pure in the universe and is within all of us. She's often called Durgatini Shini, which means the one who takes us through difficulties. The one who takes us through difficulties, and also the one who eliminates our suffering. And by that, she means the destructive parts of our ego nature, such as greed and pride and hypocrisy and arrogance and anger. And let me finish by saying, you always know, and I'm sure if I went round the circle today, there have been moments in your life where you know that your life has been changed in some way by the power of Durga. She's the one who maybe abruptly, perhaps sometimes violently or unexpectedly brings immense change in your life. And it's painful at the time, but of course, much later you emerge and you are a completely different person and ultimately are born or brought into new life. The fierce mother of Durga. Let me just stop sharing that. And finally, let me finish by picking up what I said to you that Tina was sharing with us in her video, the mother within. And by that, I mean, of course, our capacity for nurturing and caring and sustaining and protecting ourselves, ultimate self-care, whether it's in business, bad health, diet choices, poor boundaries, not enough sleep. The mother within is the one who is always sort of pushing us towards learning how to nurture ourselves. And to also acknowledge where we're not tending to the things that bring us alive. And that mother within is also our ability to allow, to be vulnerable, to be open to others, to life, to what others can bring us, to what life wants to offer us. Were we, of course, to give it space and permission to do what it wants to do. And for those of you who've breastfed or been near anyone who is breastfeeding, you'll know that no matter how much the baby is crying, as soon as it's breastfeeding, there's silence. One can't cry when one is feeding deeply from the mother, and especially the mother within. One can only receive and, of course, hear the mother's heartbeat. There's a beautiful excerpt from a poem that I love, and it says this: "She listened, and such listening as hers envelops us in a silence that at last we can hear what it is we're meant to be." And I'm inspired today to bring you the message I have after being introduced through Krista Tippett's amazing podcast. If any of you have or haven't heard it, I really encourage you to become a regular listener. She's a great teacher to me, Krista, and so many of her amazing guests. And recently she spoke to this beautiful Mohawk lady whose name is Guji. That's how you pronounce it. It's spelled Katsi, but it's pronounced Guji Cook. And Katsi Cook teaches about indigenous wisdom and the knowledge around especially pregnancy and childbirth. She is a very sought after teacher, not just in indigenous circles, but also throughout Canada and the States. And she says that wisdom is relational wealth. Wisdom is relational wealth. And so what I want to do, inspired by her, is close by saying this. Wherever you are situated in your life journey, and you're looking for these tools, especially the tools within, and really seeking and leaning into the wisdom that you need to carry you to the next place, that first wisdom, as all these teachers are telling us, is within, the mother within. And if you start there, you're going to be pretty much okay, according to Guji. And her request is that whatever we do, wherever we find ourselves in life, wherever we're surrounded by people that are younger than us, whatever generation, to pass that wisdom on. Because the wisdom is not only within, but it's a gift, that relational wealth that we can offer one another. So I would implore you, whether it's your grandchildren, your children, those are in your community, your neighborhood, your greater family, whoever they may be, always look for those opportunities to give, as Guji said, that relational wealth. Thank you, everybody.
If you like this video, please like us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click on the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. Thank you.